Hello, my name's Kevin. I'm the Atypical Cripple. I'm with.
The satire sardine.
I thought you were going with Bizarre Czar.
Well, who knows? Well, it'll be a surprise.
Is this the new Schrodinger's cat who's showing up? Bizarre Czar or Sardine?
We'll see.
Okay, well.
However,
How very
we're feeling.
how postmodernist of you.
Maybe I'll just give out my real name at some point.
Ooh, that'd be cool. All right,
Ooh.
so what are we talking about? So I did a video where I talked a little bit about my situation with, I'm going to call it intersectionality theory instead of critical race, because critical race concerns itself primarily between white and non-white
Well,
people.
and it's derived from the overarching thing of critical theory.
Right, but I
Race,
think
the race aspect was a uniquely American addition to critical theory to basically exploit that racial divide that exists in America because of slavery and that whole history.
I think critical theory specifically relates to the legal scholarship in regards to, trying to pin a number on how you can transfer funds in a presupposition of slavery is about the acquisition of resources, and there was a past injustice, and how do we make good on that? Where I think what's going on is that cultural Marxism is what we're calling CRT.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back as far as the 1950s with the Frankfurt School.
Yeah.
And I think we have to go back there to say how Marxism transitioned from the economic classism to the multitudes of classism under the Frankfurt School, applying some of the French postmodern theory into other realms of the culture, which is where you get all these language games. And this is what I'm saying I'm being affected by within the disabled community, because there's a long-standing desire from the disabled community to go from a medical model of disability, there's something physically wrong with you, to saying, oh no, it's a social reality we can deal with. And that you're not physically disabled, you're just perfect the way you are. Here, let me help you. And then we come alongside someone, empower somebody in the name of social justice. And even though I agree that I am in need of, and I'm going to use this technical term, handicapping. Where does handicapping come from? Golf or some sort of sports analogy. Where you level the playing field.
Right.
I want the playing field leveled. Not, oh, here's your trophy, good job, go away. Does that make sense?
The playing. Well, how can that, in a practical sense, be worked out? Because the playing field, like, we can have the same rules for everyone.
Right.
But how you level the playing field, like...
Take, for example, my caregiving.
Yeah.
People come in, they help me get out of bed. You don't need someone to get you out of bed. I mean, your stepfather went through a brief period of time where he needed help, and for him, it was that brief period of time where he was able to, you know, get around it. And,
Yeah.
yeah, but I have a little more long.
Permanent. Yeah.
Right. So therefore, the question is, does my Imago Dei, if I had the Imago Dei, then am I worthy of care?
Yes.
Okay. In which case, there should be a minimum standard of care, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's all I'm trying to say is whatever that minimum standard, let's maintain that. And what I'm trying to say is that whatever that minimum standard was 20 years ago is no longer the case.
Well,
And now we're just like whatever goes. Oh, so sorry, you got a pressure sore. How did you get that? And you're not looking at the people around them in a way of saying holding them responsible.
yeah. What you're, what it seems like you're driving at, and
Yes.
makes sense, is that essentially you have CRT or wokeism or intersectionality, whatever you want to call it,
Yes.
um, imposing other different priorities on the decision-making process and the standards of care, like you say,
Yeah.
than just provide, like you said, providing that handicap or, leveling the playing field. Instead of focusing on doing what they can to accomplish those ends, they're more concerned about their religious slash ideological,
Propagation.
evangelism, and,
Right.
and just the furtherance of the kingdom of wokeism.
Right. And they're using, the disabled community as saying, hey, we're gonna help you out if and so therefore there's an incentive of, hey, I'm trans or I'm this or I'm that. If I do this, there's a quid pro quo. Where I, as a Christian, there's like, ooh, yeah, I don't want to hear that.
I mean, as somebody with cerebral palsy,
Uh,
but who is also a Christian, as far as
right.
intersectionality goes, you're basically just a cis white male.
Exactly. Except I'm the vulnerable cis white male.
Yeah, but the Christianity and
Yeah, I know.
the cerebral palsy, they just cancel each other out.
Right,
So
right. But
unfortunately, yeah, we're just gonna have to treat you like a cis white male.
well, I kind of feel as if, in a way, it's like,
What
did
kind
you
of?
ever hear the joke about the two guys in the tent? And a bear is trying to rip through the tent, and one guy whips out a knife, cuts a hole on the other side, and starts going out. And he's like, "Come on, dude, come on!" He grabs his shoes. He starts putting on his shoes. He's like, "Dude, we gotta go. You can't put on your shoes." And he's like, "You're not gonna outrun the bear." And the other guy's like, "No, but I'm gonna outrun you."
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I feel in this regard. If people recognize what's going on, then the thing is somebody's going to have to do something.
Well, I don't think people realize the extent that this,
Mm-hmm.
or they're just desensitized to it. Like this ideology, this worldview, this religion,
Mm-hmm.
it has taken over. Like
Yeah.
it is the ascendant worldview right now.
Mm-hmm.
And even if people don't genuinely believe in it, they will bow and pay homage to it in order to avoid the wrath.
Are they just not aware? Are they not
I think
cognizant?
it's the frog boiling in water. It's like there's these small changes that have been happening over the years, and they haven't really, well, okay, this kind of rubs me the
Like the
wrong way.
mask.
But even then,
Like the mask.
they can people can also start to believe the lie. Hey,
Right.
maybe the mask is a good idea, or
Or maybe.
maybe we really should just love it. All love is love, and women should have the right to choose
Well,
whether or not they kill their children or not.
well, I
Yeah,
mean,
the framing obviously is different from the other
right.
perspective, but
Well, we're getting to the point where it's like watching people suffer on the streets is a form of love. And that's what scares me. When it's obviously something self destructive. Now, I get it. It's like when people are unhinged and they're unwilling to listen to reason and they're self destructive. I mean, what do you do with them? Do you involuntarily commit them? I mean, normally people like this will go die in the woods.
right.
To go succumb to the elements. But we're no longer at that point. Um, we have decided as a community, no, we're not going to allow you to do that. We love you, and we're going to care for you. Now, I'm somebody that's like, hey, willingly care for me. I will work with you. And I'm having a hard time. Because it's like the people that are coming to me, they're lying when they tell me they've done something.
Yeah.
So my sense making is all messed up. And I got people that come in and they're like, hey dude, slow your roll. Get off my appendage here. I know what I'm doing. And yet, there's so many people that are boastful and things like, it's just hard to get things done.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. No, I'm just getting very concerned in regards to where I'm at
Yeah.
because I just see it. People aren't paying attention. Um, there was a time that I had a number of months where I didn't have care. Um, during a certain time in my day, and it was funny. My case manager knew. Everyone knew. It's just like they all shrugged their shoulders and whatever.
I think part of the problem is, even if, let's say, you're aware of all of the badness that's happening and
Yeah.
taking place, um, and maybe you want to do something, what can you do? How, like,
Well,
being aware of it is a good thing, but
right. Well, that's where
it's like, okay, and
that's where I have some ideas because I think I I used to be a real critic of collective care. When my issue with collective care isn't the collective care, it's the amount of control or input clients have in regards to their collective care. Because they're all private based, the money goes in a direction of the person running it.
Hmm.
So what if we had people that could run their own? And then allocate the money going to the property to the betterment of the people in the property. And so therefore instead of going
like a
to
credit,
another
like a credit union
I
of care.
yeah, something like that where we can all four or five people, we can all vote, hey, do we want a new TV? Do we? Because I remember one of my caregivers talking about how this person that was in charge of these people's lives, she just go through and just throw up new expensive curtains every 3 years. I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars just to blow their money
Hmm.
on something that I mean, they could use a TV or a hot tub or something. I mean, I would like to have a kind of environment where I could have like a round table podcast.
Yeah.
If we could do this stuff all day. That would be my thing. We could do a running commentary on life. Everything comes to us on the internet.
Yeah.
And I would love to do something like that. If I had 5 or so people that I could interact with and whatnot, maybe I'd be a much happier person.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would imagine just
Well,
having some social
yeah.
interaction on a more regular basis.
Well, that's the thing. I feel that in many ways we're exploited because there are people that can take advantage of people with disabilities. I would rather just say no. Because, I mean, a part of my spiritual practice now is intermittent fasting and working out. I even bought a Fitbit. Checks out my pulse.
Yeah.
And it goes right to my phone. And, you know, and once you figure out that there are things that you can do personally that can affect your life, it's like that is an addicting feeling.
Hmm.
That you want to do better. I want a place where I can do that. Where I can do that with other people.
It's like a video game. You got to level up.
Right. And so if I could level... That's what I want the opportunity to do, to level up.
Yeah.
Not just waste away.
Right.
Because I think for caregivers, their idea is, I just want to get through the day so I can go back to my life.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but I have a life too.
Yeah, and you got to do your job.
What?
And
I
people
gotta
have to
do
do
my
their job.
job.
As in the caregivers, they have to do their job.
Yeah, but their job is largely dependent on how much I holler.
Yeah.
Or what do you mean by that?
Well, I'm just saying that they should strive to, even if they just want to go home and get back to their life, with no matter who you are and no matter what your job
Right.
is, you got while you're at work, you got to do your job.
Right.
Even if your heart's not in it, you still have to do it.
But that's an ought, right? That goes from a...
It's an ought that ought to get you fired if you don't do it.
Right. But the problem I have is everyone's involved this way. Everyone's this way because the people higher up are selecting those people.
Right.
And I would like to do something different. I would like to start some sort of non-profit or something. I'm gonna work on it very soon. And maybe it's inappropriate to come out here about it. But needless to say,
Inappropriate, like that one Homeland Security guy announcing the Ministry of Truth in a random interview. Sorry, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, that's a little.
I forgot about that one.
Right. But no, maybe inappropriate because it could be seen as virtue signaling. I want to start this, I want to start that.
Yeah.
And if I don't do it, that would be virtue signaling. But I don't want to virtue signal. I want to
Be virtuous.
Right. And that's where I think I'd like to go with this. And so, I want to thank Michelle for her comment. Thank you so much. Read it out real quick there.
Interesting point about identity at the end. I think so many of us are driven or pushed to derive our identity from the things that people notice most about us. As a Christian, we receive God's definition of who we are, His image bearers. Enjoyed the video, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
You want me to like it
Yeah,
as you?
go ahead and love it.
Okay, you're going to love it. All right.
Oh,
Might as well.
I get
You
that.
have the power.
Well, you get the little love symbol when it's your channel.
Yes.
So thank you very much, and I agree very much with your position there. Thank you. And so I think everyone is, you know, I hate to say it like this, not worthy of love, but you're not really deserving. But because you want,
Love your neighbor. Read the Didache.
yes, yes, read the dog and TDK. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. That, I mean, I think there are things that we can do. I think there are ways that we can. I've been listening to a lot of people talk about parallel economy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have to look at parallel resource base as well. And we can talk about further, but I just wanted to go on a limb and say, I think we need to look at other ways of dealing with the disabled. Because when you look at it, whether you're getting old or whether you have an accident, we all need to be prepared for where the disabled go.
Mm-hmm.
Because one day it could be you.
Yeah.
And if you don't,
For most people, one day it will be you.
right, and if you're not thinking about what that's going to look like, you're denying possibilities.
Yeah. Putting your head in the sand.
And I've been able to really hone in my care. And I think I have some unique ways of getting around some things. I'd like to share that out there and see if there's a market for that.
Yeah.
Even if it's, you know. So first things first, before I can raise money, I need a place for the money to go to. So I'll work on that and then I'll let you know what's going on from there. Are we ready to land the plane?
Sure.
You have anything to add?
No, I don't think so.
All right. My name's Kevin. I'm the typical cripple. I'm with.
Let's go with Bizarrozar.
Thank you, Bizarro.
I changed identities in the middle of this video.
Transnaming.
Yes.
Okay.
Adios.
My name's Kevin. See you on the next bounce.